This is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. And that is the championship belt that he has over there. I'll let him talk about it before I say anything else. So go ahead, Garland.
Hey
Whatever it is you want to
everybody,
say.
it's your king, it's your champ right here. If you witnessed last Friday night, you was there, you saw MJ against Stevie, and I had Stevie. I won. I had Stevie, and although some in Calvin's camp try to say that this was a bogus victory for me, um, I won fair and square. I I gotta give it up to selecting the songs. I gotta give it up to Apple Music. I should have an endorsement deal with Apple Music. I want to give it up to Apple Music, and my parents, and all those that love me. Let's do it again real soon. Yeah, most that. So thank you, Calvin. You know what? We gotta have a recap because some people brought up to me like, why didn't Calvin play this or why didn't Calvin play that? Do you realize you did not play Thriller?
Once again, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. And we're here on Monday doing the discussion of the Shah. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. He got the little championship belt. He got his little championship belt or whatever. But today we're here to discuss episode 4 of season 4 of The Shah, titled The Girl from Chicago. So why don't we get into that, and we can talk about these other things offline, because I'm going to edit out the first half of that, so when people see this online, they won't be able to, see any of that. So, because don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody.
I do want to say one thing though. I got to do something real nice this weekend. I was an interviewer for this kind of going to be a virtual telethon for the Dorothy E. Brunson Foundation. Dorothy Brunson was the first African American woman to own a radio station in the country. As a matter of fact, for some of you older heads like me and possibly Calvin, I think by the time Calvin really was listening to radio, WEBB was gone. But
No, I
no, it was
was
still there.
listening. Yeah,
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 it
yeah.
was a dawn to dusk radio station, meaning that the signal went weak at night, and they went off the air. And so, but it was the first radio station in the city to play rap music as part of its regular format. The New Marks, DJ Spin, AP Crew, We Rock Crew, the Uno Girls, Frank Ski, Lee Michaels, Randy Dennis. These are just a few of the people who got their start there. And so I got a chance to interview them as for a part of this program that's going to be broadcast on Saturday. And so if you want to learn more about it and donate, because they're working with the National Blacks and Wax Museum to raise money for a wax figurine to go in the museum, you can go to my Facebook page. There's some information there where you can donate, and everything. It was great. Took kind of, back to those memories of, hearing rap the first time on radio. So I just wanted to give a shout out for that. And so let's get into what we doing.
Yeah, but that's what's up, man. Because I was listening to WEBB. That was actually Chuck Max on there
Chuck
playing
Max. I
the
forgot about Chuck Max. Yeah.
that late music, that late rap music. Because we only had 2 stations in that was playing rap. It was 1400 and
right.
13, and I think it was 1360. It wasn't 1300, was it? Wasn't 1360? It might have been
1360.
And it was Chuck Max, and then Mac James was on 1400. Matter of fact, WEBB. That's where I heard at the time my favorite group, which was the Power Force crew. I used to love me some Power Force crew. I used to love me some Power Force crew. But so I'm definitely down with both of those. So that's great. I definitely want to check that out on Saturday.
Check that out.
You're right. Let's get into the shot. See what we were doing on there. So what's going on, Garland? Tell us. Let's talk about the shot.
All right. This episode was The Girl from Chicago, and as we were saying, these episodes have been named after Chicago movies or related things. And so The Girl from Chicago is a 1932 drama film produced and directed by Oscar Micheaux. Oscar Micheaux was the first Black director to direct films, and it had an all African American cast. And the story concerns a federal agent who falls in love while on assignment in Mississippi. He helps his lover escape a local thug, and the film follows them to Harlem, where they become where they become involved in the assassination of a local racketeer. So, just as crazy as that sound, I think that's just how crazy last night's episode of The Shy was. Um, so, one of my things about The Shy, and we talked about this last year, and they're kind of showing it again. They have all these storylines that are thrown out there, but they don't go nowhere. And they have good storylines. Like, for instance, instead of giving us maybe 3 or maybe 4 strong storylines to carry us, they just throw anything up on the wall, see if it sticks. And so, like, for instance, the hookup between Tracy and Duda, the mayor Perry, is a prime example. Duda makes a big deal about defunding the police, but the show makes the topic seem small. It's like they didn't even cover it this week. And so, where's the strike at? What's going? And Duda, he never at City Hall. Duda always out somewhere. He at this high school. He with Tracy. Duda ain't never at work. Who running the city?
Hey man, well, they did kind of throw it in because when Tracy tried to leave, Candy told her, I can't let you do that because they were protesting outside of their condo. But yeah, and along with that, along the lines of that, if Tracy's supposed to be running this new 911 organization, which they did show a little later on, but when are they getting calls? When are they going out in the community? Like, I would be honestly, I would like to see more of that. Like, I would like to see how they handle that. You got Trig, you got a crew to go out. Let's go out and start answering some of these calls. That would be really interesting to me. A little more interesting than having Candy in there. I'm not a big fan of Candy.
Right? Yeah, I'm
not a big fan of hers.
They just be.
I'm not mad at the dude at Tracy relationship, but I'm just not a big fan of Candy.
I mean, Tracy, she thicker than a couple Snickers, but it's like, what are they doing? It's like, where's this going? So sometimes it just feels kind of disjointed, and so we'll get into it. And one of the disjointed stories that I think storylines, and I don't know how you feel about it, but we can talk about it, is Emmett and Tiff, and so polyamory. And so Emmett and Tiff's open marriage experiment is off to a rocky start, but we knew that it would happen. They didn't even think to set up some ground rules at the offset, and so they just, last episode decided, hey, just on the whim, let's have an open relationship, and okay. So they just decided to go ahead and do it. And although it was nice to see Tiff recognize something was wrong with Emmett when he returned home after learning that Jada, his mom, has cancer, it just seemed to me, Calvin, is it me, or does it seem that Tiff is more into the open marriage than Emmett is?
Well, absolutely, because Emmett don't want his woman touching this dude because he's starting to see that I think Tiff is actually in a relationship with this dude. Right. She ain't just sleeping with him; she's in a relationship with this man. But Tiffany is also doing what women do, and I'm sorry, ladies, but this is what women.
That's a hot one. What women do?
She set the rules. She said, this is what we need to do. We need to have an open relationship. We need to see other people. We just don't need to lie about it. So as soon as he do it, the first thing she say is, how you gonna fuck the girl that I used to work with? Well, you're the one that wanted to do this. So now she's supposed to pick who she's sleeping with. And then when she said, well, certain people you can't sleep with. And then when he called out the dude, well, you can't sleep with him. She like, well, no, she tried to hit some old ex post facto on him. That was before the ruling. And he was like, so, well, what that mean? What that mean? It means that before she comes up with all these rules. Like, women are just manipulating. This woman is manipulating the rules, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, personally, I think Emmett deserves all of it, but I still don't like the way she's manipulating the rules.
Yeah, I'm with you. It just, okay, if you're going to have a real open relationship, an open relationship is about setting boundaries and respecting the feelings and the wants of your partner. Yes, I've given you permission to, step outside of the relationship, but you can step outside of the relationship under these parameters, and we both agree this is what we're due. And so, all right, you're gonna be mad at me because I'm with the little thought that you used to work with, but I say, okay, don't let old boy hit, and you gonna, try to go off on me. I To me, the depiction of this open relationship piece, this is just kind of off. But I guess when you're not mature enough, maybe it's a good depiction, because if you're not mature enough to handle a relationship like that, and you're not respecting each other's feelings and boundaries, to me, it's like she's in a whole second marriage with old boy.
Exactly.
He going downtown like it's SWV, and she going to the crib, and they all hugged up, and he tapping in the kitchen like, yeah, my boo here, my wifey home. Yeah, that's the limit that I think the what could be the danger of it. But to me, it's showing the risky side of it and not really showing the healthy side of it. I've never been there, so I don't know how healthy it is. But from what I hear from people, or from what I've seen, or people's testimony of it, is that it can be healthy if it's done in a healthy way. Right now, I'm not thinking this is too healthy for Emmett, at least.
So let's talk about it. Someone mentioned earlier on the Facebook page and the group page, they wanted a discussion a little more on polyamorous versus monogamous relationships. How do
Right.
you feel about that? I think we touched on it briefly last week, but how do you feel about
I think that if you trust your partner, and you're able to work through any issues, and it's really based on strong communication. That, to me, that's bigger than the sex piece. If you have weak communication with your partner, and you don't have any trust, it's probably something you shouldn't do. um, it looks cute, from the outside, but then when you jump into it, I think it's a whole different thing. I've used the example of someone I know that did it. It's cute when it's kind of tilted your way, but when other parameters get involved that you're not emotionally equipped for, I think it causes a problem. And so, I think it's only for mature people. If you just want to be a freak, just say you want to be a freak, and don't get into a relationship. But if you're mature enough to work through that, then sure, whatever floats your boat. What do you think?
no? So for me, it's just a no. It's like it's not even a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, not for
It's a
me. It
no.
don't work for me, but I'm just saying for
Yeah,
other people. Yeah, it doesn't
and
work for
and
me.
I'm not
I'm
even
not there.
I'm completely an advocate for people doing whatever works for them in their marriage. But if you actually ask me for my advice, if it came to that, I wouldn't say whatever you all do. I would say no. I'd be like, because there's always going to be. I think it's really difficult to find two people that are actually really dedicated to it. And as we can see in this Emmett and Tiff relationship, Emmett is not really into this. Tiffany is. I think it's
Mhm.
really hard. So there's always going to be someone in the relationship trying to get out of it, or even trying to sabotage it, or just definitely not down with it, not into it. So this is just a whole Baltimore high school thing, but I saw someone say on Twitter, they put something up, was like, yeah, I'm in this poly relationship. How do you feel about it? And someone else commented, City Forever. And that's where I'm at. Anything that's polyam, I'm City Forever. So no. But
Right.
yeah, man, I'm not emotionally secure enough to handle anything like that.
Right.
My trust factor is way up. I have no problem with trusting, but I'm just I can't sit back and think about my woman being with another man. I can't sit back and think about my woman having fun with another man. And I think I'm some sort of small time comedian, and I just can't have her laughing at your jokes harder than
Right.
like,
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
I can't. I'm not emotionally secure enough to be able to handle anything like that. So if I was, and I don't think I've ever been presented with that, but if I were ever presented with that, I would be like, oh, it's a definite no for me. I can't handle that. Not
Yeah,
not me. Not
and
me.
from what I seen on Showtime, when they were running the show polyamory, some of these they living in pods, and so they're meeting the other people, and they have relationships, and so Yeah, this is yeah. That's just. I think the depiction of it is not great, but it definitely would not work for me. But they have this past, and someone just said this. Their relationship is filled with past
Right.
trauma that prevents them from having a healthy marriage. That's true. Maybe they need to go and work on that. Maybe opening the marriage is not the cure for your trauma. Obviously, Emmett, all these children, all these different women, father out there, he has that trauma. Tiff, her issues as well. You know, maybe seeing the therapist might have been better than, opening up the marriage.
It is, and I also think their basis is a little off. Now, again, I don't know much about polyamory or polyamorous relationships, but I do believe that when people agree to that, their relationship is strong and solid, and they're
Definitely.
doing it because they just have a physical desire to be with other people. These two are doing it because they
They're
don't want to
married.
let go of one another,
Right.
but they also don't want to have all their eggs in one basket to try to disguise some sort or mask some sort of hurt that they have. So I think the basis for this is just way off. It seems, and I don't even know about therapy because it seems like they would be better off, especially at their young age, to just break up. Just
Right.
break up and go pursue other relationships. But neither one of them seem to want to do that. So we'll see how that works out, I guess.
Right. We'll see. We'll see. All right. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. My man Jake. Mm, mm, mm. Who knew it, boy? Who knew it? Gemma and Jake. They was disciplined by the school for the little interview that Jake did, and he said after police and all that stuff. And so Duda, he comes up. I'm still trying to figure out how Duda run in Chicago, where he everywhere else except City Hall. You could have sent Candy over there. You could have sent Tracy. Anyway, so Duda, he's in everything. Duda goes over there, smooths it over, and so in response to kind of what the principal said to them and censoring her program and taking it off the air for a while, they devised a plan to have a walkout. And so the walkout really doesn't go as well as they planned. It's a bus, and so Jake, your boy, he pulls the fire alarm, and him and Gemma run out to school holding hands. And so he like, well, hey, look, we out here. There's no reason to go home. Let's go get some fish. All right, all right. Let me take you to the hood spot. Get you these wings and these fries with salt, pepper, ketchup, and a half and half. We can, sit down and talk about this. And so Jake, I know Jake had it in him, a little smooth, had a little hair on her face. He thought, let me get that. Let me handle that. She went here, blew the little hair off. I'm like, okay, what's your wish? Jake had all the lines. And so until now, did Jake strike you as the kind of person who would mac on his best friend's girl?
Well. Let me back up really quickly, because I definitely want to talk about Jake. But there are two things in this Jake and Gemma that led up to this that totally baffled me. First, she said she ain't never had no fried fish. What the hell? She ain't never had
Right.
no
Well,
fish.
she
She
maybe
ain't
she
never,
had her fish broiled. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
even Jesus gave away fish. Like, I don't. What is it called when you don't eat fish? Like, I don't understand that. But um, the other thing is, am I the only one whose whole childhood was ruined when Jake pulled the fire alarm and no ink or dye came out and spread on his hand? I thought if you pulled the fire alarm in
No,
school,
yo.
you put the dye on your hand. That's what they said.
That does used to
That's what
tell us,
they
but it was a lie.
That's what they said. I was like, well, where's the die? He don't know. Ain't nobody gonna find out that he did it. You know how many fire alarms I would have pulled in school if I'd have known this was not true. They
Right.
had me shook behind that, man. So listen. Anyway. Um, I don't know what's going on with Jake and Kevin,
Mm-hmm.
because that is some underhanded stuff. Now, I will give Jake. So let's say Jake is there with her, and initially it was just this little innocent thing. Let's go hang out since we out here, and then something kicked off. Then maybe he'll tell Kevin next week, like, "Yo, Gemma for the streets, bro. You ain't this ain't for you." But it's like Jake moved in. Like I hope he tell Kevin, because if he don't tell Kevin, he's Snake, man. Like, what are you, Jake? What are you doing, bro?
I don't know, Calvin. She maybe she macked on him. She threw the lips on Jake, and Jake, Jake was defenseless. He was defenseless. He
so
he he wanted her to be his
last week,
girlfriend.
last week she was looking at Jake and she touched Jake's hand. But if you remember, this week she was like, "I want to tell you something," and Jake was like, "Oh, I thought you were going to say you wanted to be my girlfriend." No, that was Jake that made that move.
Okay.
Jake made that move. So they both met halfway in there. They both met halfway in there. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Jake. I don't know what's going on with Jake, but Jake has probably always liked her because him and her always went at it like with real vitriol, you know what I mean? And they always say you literally pick on and don't, when you're young, you pick on and don't like the ones that you don't, act like you don't like the ones that you really like. So
right.
Yeah, but I didn't, of
I
course
didn't see
we
it
all
coming.
saw
Well,
it
I
at the
mean, we saw
beginning,
it in
but
the
I
beginning,
didn't,
but
yeah, but I didn't really see it going down like that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were going to have a real falling out, him and Kevin, and maybe that's how it happened. But
right.
their relationship, Kevin and Jake's relationship, has been kind of shaky this season. But yeah, I don't think it was anything for him to move in on his girl. Like, oh, like he'd be like, "Oh, for real, Nick? Oh, okay. We'll see what
Right.
Gemma got to say about that." Like,
Yo,
like, what
it
are you
was like
doing?
they was at the Yellow Bowl having some lake trout or something.
And another thing, do these kids not have to check in? They all be
No,
out just late at night, just hanging. It's Chicago.
they
Like,
in
ain't
dangerous
Chicago
Chicago.
dangerous?
Well. Jake know Duda. He know the man. So
That's true.
dude,
Yeah, that's
Duda
true.
gonna
So
protect him.
Jake can walk them streets. He good everywhere, and he
Yeah.
let Goofy go. Like he told the Goofy, "You live that way, Goofy ass."
Right. But he did try to backpedal. He's like, "What? You kissed me? You threw your tongue in my mouth. Why am I gonna tell Kev?
Exactly.
What? No, I ain't gonna say
Exactly.
nothing." Yeah.
Now,
So
someone said Jake and Kevin had the falling out when they didn't fight the police. They did, but they didn't have that falling out where they have completely fallen out,
right.
unless Jake is harboring some resentment that he's just not expressing to Kevin, and the way he's expressing it is by moving in on this girl, which is some underhanded stuff,
Yeah,
Jake.
it's rotten at its core. Nah, you gotta be like, nah, that's my man. We rock. We didn't came up together. Shorty, I know you like me, but that's my man and stuff. Yeah. Like if y'all break up tomorrow, they'll call me.
I mean, give it. You don't actually call you actually talk to him and you be like, "Dang, I can't believe y'all broke up. Y'all good." You vet her for like 2 weeks, make sure it's
Right.
really over,
Right.
and then
Like, yo, you
I
don't
mean
like her
that's
no
what I
more.
heard. I've never,
Right. Like, yo, I heard y'all ain't together. You don't like her no more, do you? It's cool, yo. She keep on hollering at me. I don't know what to say.
But you supposed to always call your man. But when you call your man, be like, "Yo, what's up with you and Shorty? I mean, can I move in?" And if your boy be like, you know the relationship. Most of the time, your boy be like, "Yeah, whatever, it's whatever. I ain't
Go ahead,
tripping off."
yo.
But you know what their relationship is like, and when he be like, "I mean, nah, it's whatever, yo. If she trying to get with you," but then of course he gonna call behind. So you trying to get with my man and shit now? That's what you doing? Oh, you a
Yeah,
hoe? I
yo.
knew you was a hoe.
Right. You crew skins. Gemma turning into crew skins now. Oh man, come on, Gemma. You too rich
First
to
of
be crew
all,
skins.
first of all, for you to use crew skins way, way back. They for the streets now. They're not crew
Right.
skins no
They're
more.
not, it's not crew skins no more.
Hey, there are
Man.
probably 3 people on here that have heard of crew skins, and that would be me, you, and Wood.
What happened to the 80s? Come on, man. Anyway. Oh boy. Anyway, all right, so your girl Keisha, she's having a baby, and that's her business. And so, following a medical emergency, Keisha, she has some Braxton Hicks contractions. She chooses Octavia to be the adoptive parent of her unborn child, despite insisting that the child be raised in a two-parent family. Her change of heart appeared to be centered on seeing herself and her life in a different way. And she remains traumatized from her forced captivity, of course she should be, and frustrated because of her derailed college dreams. And so, man, what do you think of this storyline, how this is going so far? I mean, because Keisha's just, she's kind of gone this gambit of, okay, this is what I want. Then she seemed like she wanted the child. Octavia came in, she wanted the child to be with a family and this, that, and the other. And so, you know, what do you think of the storyline?
Um, it's weird, but it's not unbelievable. Keisha's really concerned about this baby. Um, and of course she wants to pick the best for her. It's just Keisha seems to be a solid influence. Now the thing that really, I don't know if it bothers me, but that I wonder what Keisha is. Last season was all about her being kidnapped and constantly raped by this guy. And of course, being pregnant this season. Then they don't really, maybe she's dealt with that trauma because
Mm,
when we ended last season, she was really dealing with that trauma.
right,
Maybe she's dealt with it and they've moved on. I mean, they've changed the scenery. They have a new house, which they finally talked about this season when she finally said, they'd say, "Oh, nice place. Oh yeah, we got a new house." Finally letting us know that,
right.
we want to know how
Oh,
you got a new
y'all
house,
moved?
but
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
finally. But yeah, I'm not upset with her character the way they're portraying her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I completely understand and it's not going to be an easy decision for her. Um uh, Last week I think we all may have been thinking that she's going to lean towards keeping the baby. This week it doesn't seem like that. It seems like she's ready to give it to the single mom, which she's changed, but the single mom definitely gave her something. And if you notice when they were in the hospital, Keisha's mom looked at the lady and she kind of, when she hugged her and she kind of gave her that side eye, because I think what Keisha was doing was she was seeing something in her that she's not even getting from her own mom. And that was that protection, that care, that concern, because she was her advocate with that doctor. That doctor was definitely going to do anything he wanted, which is a problem in the Black community
Right,
when we go to hospitals and we go to
right,
doctors. So they did touch on that.
right,
But yeah, I'm not upset at her character because it definitely seems believable. And someone puts in here, it changes you physically and emotionally. And she's starting to see some things, so I can definitely understand that. I'm not the lady, and also with the single parent household that she's trying to put her baby in. This woman is in charge. She has a good job. She has ideas. She seems to be well off. So yeah, I guess I don't see a problem with it, but we'll see how it works out. How do you feel about the storyline?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with it either. I think, like the person said, pregnancy is an up and down thing, and I think as she grows and she starts to see more and spend some time, and that also I think she's definitely being influenced by what Emmett and Tiff are going through, and seeing that aspect of parenting and all, and so yeah, I really think, I would love to see how she, comes through on this choice and, having the baby in the little wading pool and stuff. And, I think it's just, this character has just had it difficult going, being kidnapped, being raped, being impregnated, you were supposed to be going to college and all. And, now your dreams are kind of put on hold. And, yeah, I don't know if this is going to be, I'm a bet that she gonna have this baby and she gonna change her mind because the character is changing every week, and so I think her having the baby, and that's still no guarantee that she's gonna eventually pass the baby over to the new mom and all. I thought she got weirded out by the Christian couple, where they were saying, they're trying to
Yeah.
raise a village, and so they got 20 kids and stuff. And so, I think that's really, seeing that, this is just not an easy thing. You got people who have different motives. Some people really love kids, and then some people are just doing this for status sake. They're not necessarily worried about the care, but it makes them look good because they adopt people, like people who adopt pets. Hey, I adopted a dog. Great. What do you want, a cookie? And so, I think it's that same aspect of that. She's seeing that maybe, she wants the child to be loved, and this person showing this concern, maybe, that's the thing she needed.
Someone commented on the couple and said they scared me. It's so funny that in the black
They did.
community, and of course I don't know about the generation now, but our generation was really, we were all like brought up in the church, and the generation before us, our
Mm-hmm.
parents' generation, they were definitely brought up in church, was instilled in them. But it's like we want our religion when we want our religion. Like we don't want anyone else
Right.
pushing it on us, even though we may believe the same thing. We don't want anyone pushing it on us. It was, and it's I don't, well, I don't want to say it's a shame. I guess it's what you believe, but it seemed to have struck a nerve or put up a red flag with Keisha and her mom when they were like, "Oh yeah, we live by the Bible." You know what I mean? And they were like, but then you kind of want everyone to have those virtues and live. You know what I mean? It's kind
Right.
of like it seems to be a balancing act, and black people always seem to have that sense of it might be a little too much. You might be a little too judgmental, and I don't want you raising my child so strict. It's so weird, that dynamic in the black community, how the church plays its role, and those that follow the church play their role in the black community.
Most definitely, most definitely. And, I think adoption is fairly new for us too, because, a lot of times we got family members who are raising kids,
Yeah,
an
definitely.
auntie or a cousin and stuff, and things like that. So, yeah, this is definitely, I want to see what happens next week. All right, so let's close with your girl, Imani. Imani, she's out here trying to be Wonder Woman, trying to save the young lady who is under the thumb of the pimp doing sex work. And Amani's on the warpath. She meets her covertly in the bodega and like, yeah, we meet at this time, come back. And, she shows up, but the girl doesn't show. And so Amani, she just goes on the warpath, and she goes and, screams on Trig while he's trying to be Medgar Evers and Stokely Carmichael. And so Trig goes and finds his gun and taps into his other side, and he confronts the pimp. And Imani's efforts to help the young woman escape the nearby trap house, it doesn't work because it comes out with some fatal results. And so, you know, this storyline, Calvin, I'm still trying to, I don't, so was Imani a sex worker?
I
Because
think
I'm trying to think, last season, did either they ran girls or she was a sex worker?
I think last season she was. I want to say she was a dancer, but I can't quite remember. But I do believe there was some sex work in her
Right,
background.
right.
I can't quite remember. I would have to go back through her storyline
Right.
from last
Is
season.
this because I'm guessing this is why she's so passionate about this? But I'm still trying to figure out what's the whole game of it. Where was Rashad at? Rashad, he found out that she, was trans and stuff. And so, I'm also intrigued to see this way. This storyline is not as strong as maybe the Emmett and Tiff, or even the Jake and the Gemma and Kevin love triangle. I would love to see more Papa. That's one thing that we miss in this season. We're not seeing enough
Yeah,
of Papa. And so,
more Papa and Maisha.
yeah, more
Yeah,
Papa and
definitely.
Maisha. I would love to see more of them and all. And so, what you think about this, man? This latest development with Imani.
I am, and I'm an Amani fan. But I do think this is. So maybe it's going to build up more, but it's starting really shaky. Amani got really emotional, and she's forcing her way in, and I don't recall her and Trig having issues other than his boy being there. But she seems to not be speaking to him now about this,
Mm-hmm.
he did go out there and try, and he was ready to get shot for the girl. I really think they kind of brushed over and of course it was at the end of the episode, so maybe next week they'll do more. But they
Right.
really kind of brushed over the fact that this girl was found dead. Like he was just like, yeah, they found her dead. Like as a matter of fact, they found her dead. Like, you
Right.
know, that's you, Amani. Like, you gave her that phone. You got her killed. She came to you. Like, you would think that the guy would, instead of saying, tell your bitch to stay out my business, I need to go find her. Like,
Right.
I had to kill one of my workers for her. So somebody got to pay for that. Like,
Right.
it sounds like that should be a war brewing or something. Like, something's, and it just doesn't seem to be jobbing. And then all
And
of a sudden it's, go
yeah,
ahead, no, go ahead.
the crazy thing is they're not even going to cover it next week. And so yeah, the girl gets killed. They gonna go on with a new storyline. I'll bet you
Yeah.
$1.
And, there's she's what she say, yeah, we've been trying to shut that house down, but tell me more about it. Like, I don't know. And I like Amani, but I don't know if they're playing this correctly. It's not an unbelievable story, but I don't know if they're playing it correctly. And I don't know. I don't know. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
guess we'll see. I don't have a strong opinion on it right now. I don't know, but a lot of their things don't fit in. Some of them don't fit in right away, and they eventually come around. But this one seems to be far out there because they still have to deal with Trick's homeboy that's in the house. Like, and
Right.
of course he wasn't there this week, so they still have to deal with him. And it seemed to be a dynamic with him and Imani that was about to kick off, or that we felt like might have been brewing. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't understand Trig's character this season. I don't know what Trig is doing this year. Trig comes on the scene. He's here to revenge Reg, to bring Duda down. And now it's like, who are you? What's your purpose? You walk around mad all day, and then I the character, it started off as this kind of like, I won't say he was a villain, but he was out for revenge. He was on a mission. When he showed up in Chicago, he
Yeah.
was on a mission. And now it's kind of like, I show up where you need me. You need me to go threaten somebody, I go threaten somebody. You need me to go help interrupt on some violence, I go interrupt on some violence. The character is gone away from how he was first introduced.
It makes me think that Luke James is being paid the most on set because he's kind of like a one man Shakespeare play. He's kind of in everything. The only storyline he's not in is Emmett and Tips. He's in
Right.
everybody else's storyline. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that's one storyline. I thought it was going to be good because like we say, he was battling Duda, but now he's been co-opted by Duda, and it's like, yeah, because then at the end of last season, he's supposed to have been Duda's man on the street. He's going, Duda's going upstairs, and he's going to take over the business. But okay, where the business? Where the pizza place at? You know what I'm saying? Did Duda sell the pizza place? Did he leave that to
I
Trey?
forgot about that because that's where
Yeah,
Papa and all them were working. But now Papa works for Emmett, and Jake and Kevin don't have a job. So
right.
yeah, what happened to the pizza
What happened
spot?
to the
Yeah,
pizza place? Perry Pizza.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't
Yeah,
know.
man. Well, one
Hey,
good thing. Go ahead, Kyle.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say something about Jada. Jada, she does finally reveal, and that's going to be. I want to see how this storyline, because Kevin's mom, she went in the phone. She went in the phone. She went in her husband's phone, and I'm sorry, her stud. She went in her stud's phone and found. That's better, right, stud?
I'm done.
Anyway, she
Just
went.
continue. I'm not.
She went in old boy's phone and found the little text message. And of course, it's innocent. They are, people say, be careful what you look for, because you might find it. Sometimes don't go searching for stuff because it'll find you. And so I want to see how this plays out because this is just, and she should have just been came out and say, "Hey, Jada got cancer, and I've been trying to support her." Now you looking like you crazy.
Yeah,
Ashley says partner. It's not. It's not staff. Thank you,
it's partner.
Ashley. It's
It's
partner.
partner. It's
Thank you,
partner.
Ashley.
Um,
That's
yeah,
what I
this
thought.
storyline, and this is actually a believable storyline, but Jada finally came out and said it. But she's got Dre in a lot of trouble, lot of trouble. And Dre's been lying, and now she's gonna have to explain this situation. Now, of course, you know, Kevin and Keisha's mom, she's a sucker anyway, so she can tell her
Yeah,
anything, and she ain't going, she ain't
she's the
going.
world. She's the world worst mom. I'm sorry. She gives black moms a bad name, especially TV black moms, because TV black moms, they on point. They knock your head off. This one, I'm like, yeah, and
Kevin Kevin literally said, "I basically want to be able to do what I want to do with them not telling me anything."
right,
And they were negotiating that.
right.
What? Kevin? Uh,
I
mm,
just want to live my life. And first of all right. So when did they
basically.
discover he was self medicating? Because we never saw that. He was outside
And
smoking blunts and drinking brown liquor. We okay. So who? When did you catch him smoking the blunts? Eh,
exactly. And if you know he's self medicating, I'm not sure about everybody else's parents, but I didn't get leeway the following week to be able to say, yeah, I still want to they need to trust me. Trust you? You
mm-hmm.
drinking, you smoking weed, you got kicked off a college tour. I'm
Right,
supposed to trust you? No, trust is earned, sir.
right,
And you ain't earned the trust yet. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on with mom. But she did go in the phone. Maybe she'll get a little stronger in this one. And you let Dre off the hook when Keisha was having these issues and you were frantically calling Dre. Babe, I can't have my phone on when you
right,
don't check your messages.
right,
Like, and another thing, okay, I don't answer my phone, but I always have the text messages rolling because you never know if there's going to be an emergency.
right,
So if you call me and I don't answer, you can at least send me a text and tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? And why isn't Dre seeing that or checking that? Like, I, and why is she letting that roll? Like, why is mom just letting that roll? Yeah, she need to, her relationship with her boyfriend is just the same as her relationship with her children. She just
right.
letting everybody run all over her. So I don't. Yeah.
So let me correct this. Dre is her wife. They're wives. They're wives together and all. And so saw a couple of
Oh, yeah, I
negative
said
terms on
boyfriend. I
here.
forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot they
yeah.
were
And
married.
so
I
they're
forgot they were
married.
married.
And so yeah, they're wives. And so I'm not trying. Don't want to be insensitive. And so yeah, and I'd be joking about Dre, but Dre was sleeping like butterball in the bed. Dre sleep hard. That's how you gonna go over there and pick up Dre for Dre? Dre just knocked out like I'm asleep and she done got the phone. She know your code. Oh, that should be a question, everybody. Do you give your spouse your phone code?
Well, do we?
That's what I'm asking.
Well, do we?
Do we? Does
I'm
you
looking. I'm looking in. I don't
can
see
you
nobody. I don't see nobody
do you
popping up.
does your spouse, does your significant other know your phone code? Can they pick up your phone and just go right in?
No.
A little silent on the
Yours?
line.
Yours?
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing.
Yeah, when I leave it open.
Here's the opposite. Here's the opposite end. Do you necessarily feel a need to go into your spouse's phone? I
Yeah, see, that's
I
that's the next thing. Yeah. Do
yeah,
you
I don't. Yeah, I don't feel a need, and I don't think I give anyone. I don't think that I give my wife a reason to go into my phone. So, and real quick,
That's good.
you touched on it really quickly. We and I know it was a joke and it seemed like a joke, and we do laugh and joke about a lot of things, but we'll try not to use
Yeah, we don't want to
offensive
use negative terms
terms.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
we
that, though.
try not to use offensive terms. So we've seen it a couple times, and we're not going to acknowledge it or the person. But yeah,
Right.
just try to be sensitive to everyone that we have inside of here, because that is a negative term. So
Yeah.
we don't want to offend anyone. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, moving on. And as you can see, my partner, wife,
Mm,
that goes by
mm.
the pronouns of she, her, and I'm hers. She don't need or want the code.
Mine, mine, and mine. I don't need a what the code. All right, sis. All right. Yeah, although you was talking negative last Thursday, I'm glad to hear that.
So you want we having a real great shot discussion, and you want to go back
I'm sorry.
to
I don't
the
want to go
music
back to
back.
the past victories. Let's just look forward to the future. Let's just go forward, not in the back. So yeah, man. But overall, it was a typical Shy episode. It's uneven. You got these storylines that you just be like, okay, where did this come from? Where are they going with this? I don't quite understand this. And so we'll see. Now it's funny because the opening shot that we saw in the season premiere, it looks like that's going to be the
Yeah.
episode next week and all. And so I guess they're kind of halfway through the season now. We kind of see where these things go on, and maybe we'll start to see a rush of all these other open storylines start to come into play. The Imani and Rashad, the Duda and the police, and maybe we'll see more Maisha and Papa, and we start to see these other things, and so see what happens with the love triangle with Jake, Gemma, and Kevin. So see what's up with that.
And even though the shows seem to be a little disjointed during the show, they all definitely fit together, fit inside of one another. And I will say the season is a lot better than last season
Yeah,
thus far.
yeah,
And
so
last
far.
season, and again, we gave them a little grace on last season because they had to shift after the guy got his
Yeah, yeah.
charges and
Kevin,
had to kick
was it Kevin
him.
Mitchell or
Yeah,
something? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they had to kick him, and then him kicked him off the show. Then the girl left the show. So and they were the main storyline of the show. Everything fed off of them. So they definitely had to adjust to that. So seems like it's starting off well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yes.
in that case, we will be back next Monday,
Mm-hmm.
season 4, episode 5 of The Shot. And of course, it'll be another black movie from Chicago name. I haven't looked it up. Did you look this one up
I
yet?
have not looked this one up yet, but maybe Ashley. What is it? Because I know you know. Ashley's not saying. Okay.
Wait a minute. Ashley said now who's the young lady who had her friend in here? She not in the chat today. We wanted to
That was her
see.
sister. Yeah. My sister's
Okay.
not in the chat today.
What so do we know what role her friend played
She was the
last night?
girl that in the opening scene that went into the apartment with Emmett. That was Tiff's old coworker.
Oh. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Emmett didn't seem. I think Emmett's going to have a breakdown. I think Emmett's going. He's got a lot of pressure on him. This open marriage piece, his mom, who's his rock, having cancer. He really seems like he's hearing these voices. He's kind of having these particular things where he's just not there mentally. I think we're going to see something mentally happen with our boy before the end of the season.
well, hopefully next week we'll see more Papa and more Darnell. We didn't get any Darnell
Yeah,
and Dom this week, so Darnell
right,
is definitely probably my favorite character now. Darnell is comic relief, and he don't even really have a storyline except that
right,
he's a fool and he's sleeping with Dom. So
right.
that's about it.
He just shows up and acts dumb.
Acts really weird, but he's funny. He's funny. So, but anyway, we will see you all next week. We got anything else coming up? Anything else you want to tell the people? Remind them of Saturday again.
Yeah, Saturday again. You can go to my Facebook page, the Dorothy E. Brunson Foundation. They're having their virtual fundraiser to raise funds in partnership with the National Great Blacks in Wax Museum to raise funds for a wax figurine of Dorothy Brunson, who was the first African American woman to own a radio station in the country and also a television station as well in Philadelphia. And so if you want to contribute to that cause, you can get some information off my page. And I'm not going to sit long on my title. We had some great suggestions for shows, for music battles. And I know we're coming up on, summer month and stuff. And so we're going to try to figure something out soon before people, really start to head outside, before you outside on Instagram. We're going to try to see what we can do for y'all before it get hot and you want to go show your body.
Definitely. And if you got a body like mine, you always want to show it because y'all gonna get all this.
You gonna get all that body. You gonna get it. You just
all
gonna
of
get
this.
it. You gonna get this.
Hey everybody, we thank you for joining us again. We will see you next week. Once again, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. He got a championship belt somewhere. Let me end this before he shows it real quick. Let me. Where's the end street?
What were you saying? I didn't hear you. Oh, you were saying something about the belt. Here it is. You was asking to see.
I wasn't saying nothing. Hey, we'll see everybody next week. Stay safe. Avoid these cicadas. I'll talk to you later, Garland.
All right, bro. Say goodnight,
All right,
Belt.
man,
Say goodnight, Belt. The belt ain't speaking.